Shalom lekulchem. Hello to the Israel Chamber of IT and to all the attendees. And let me thank Ellie Frank and Yoram Eldar for the invitation and opportunity to take part and keynote in this important and vast conference. This is a particularly important time for us to be sharing our ideas. It has become absolutely clear that in many ways, technology is so critical at this particular time. I think we know that had this happened many years ago, in fact, advancement would have been very, very slow. But because we are where we are in technology, it is clear that video conferencing is now a technology that's available. The cloud is now available to provide inexpensive and quickly accessible computing. And there are vast amounts of data available for us to solve so many of our problems. What it has made very clear, and I think that both governments and companies and individuals see this, is that moving quickly is critical. Historically, we've thought, moving quickly is risky. You should move slowly. You shouldn't make decisions until you have all the information. But I think what we've seen is that those companies and those governments and those medical centers that were able to quickly harness technological capabilities are the ones that are doing best at this time. So instead of moving quickly being risky, in fact, moving quickly may be what saves all of us. We have always been the technology that tries to solve very hard problems. I've always smiled to myself when I realize that many people don't even know what our company does. And yet we touch our customers' every day, thousands of times. Whether they're checking a bank transaction or they're making a phone call, they are most likely working with us in the background. And for us at Oracle, we have been thinking about these types of problems and handling large amounts of data securely. This has been really what we think about all the time. And with the advent of cloud computing and those capabilities, and really with the arrival of artificial intelligence and machine learning now being everywhere and available in almost all applications, we have a capability to answer so many questions we otherwise wouldn't have been able to answer. There can be no doubt that Zoom and WebEx and 8x8 and BlueJeans and Teams and all of these video conference capabilities has made us productive during this period where many of us have been locked in our homes. And this capability and the ability to spin them out and spin them up quickly. And for us, of course, a particular point of pride is that this Zoom video is being done, in fact, on the Oracle Cloud. And that availability and the ability, as I said, to spin it up quickly, again, has come in so handy at this important time. And whether it's when we're all together, like at this conference, or whether we're all together with our families or our children studying with their teachers who are working so hard, or these are systems which are allowing telemedicine, which we've all been talking about probably for a decade. But now telemedicine is available to help so many who could otherwise not go see their doctors. And for us at Oracle, this terrible COVID pandemic has really meant that we had to participate full on. You probably don't realize that dozens of the clinical trial systems are running on Oracle Clinical right now. And that in fact, the sourcing for millions of vaccine trials going on right now, all the volunteers in many, many countries are actually signing on to a system Oracle built and donated to the countries and governments during this period. For us, we understood that this is a time where all of us have to do what we do best. And for Oracle, for us, it's always been based on three things. One, security. There is probably no company more paranoid than ours, and that is because we hold the world's most important data in our systems and always have. And because that data is so important to companies and people and governments, we have always believed that just locking the doors and windows is never enough, that you have to build on a steel foundation, be completely encapsulated in such a way that you are truly secure. And we built our Generation 2 cloud completely differently than everyone else because of that. That Generation 2 cloud is set up in a way that your data is always protected from both noisy and nosy neighbors, that in fact a whole second processor handles the network so that your data is never at risk. And the entire system is protected by, we call them robots, but really it's artificial intelligence fighting their robots with our robots, keeping the system secure. So security, our job one, because nothing is more important than that. Two, we've always focused on extreme performance, very, very high performance, because these are important pieces of data that you must have an immediate, instantaneous response to. And they always have to be right. They can't be close. Close is not good enough for us at Oracle. And then finally, we need to be scalable. We must be able to go from the smallest to the largest. And we have to be able to be truly scalable, whether scaling up or scaling down. And those are ultimately the fundamentals of our cloud. And all of these concepts have been with Oracle before we even had a cloud. And for us, it's a particularly exciting time because we can bring our cloud to the most innovative country in the world. We can finally bring our cloud to Israel. And we're, of course, thrilled that we will be rolling out our own center in Israel for all of you. And with a local region in Israel working hand in hand with the amazing innovation in the country, it is finally a period where we can truly work together locally in the best possible way. So for us, this is a time of extreme importance. It has become incredibly clear that technology leadership is important in every industry, whether it's in retailing or banking or communications or media. Those companies who have leaned forward are the ones who are most successful. And where is that clearest? It is clearest with those companies who are solving this COVID pandemic, that are actually saving lives worldwide, many of them in Israel. And so for us to be part of this mission with all of you gives us enormous, enormous pride. And so I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for inviting me to participate. And one thing is true. There is no country that has done more in this fight than Israel. And I am incredibly proud to be working with some of your companies and trying to solve this and to hear about new discoveries almost every day. And so for us, it is a real point of pride to be able to announce and work in the new local region in Israel. It's always been very important to me and to Larry Ellison, my partner. And we look forward when we can again come and visit you and meet with you face to face. And I want to encourage you, as much as you're leaning forward now, lean forward harder. Because this is not the only challenge we will all have. We will have many, many more. And those of us who are using the newest, the best technology are going to be the most successful. So thank you, and thank you very much for inviting me to participate.